The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello and welcome to Mature Lifestyle. Spectrum Generations so enjoys bringing you programs that help us to live, laugh, and learn, and this program is no exception. I've got some pretty electric people sitting around the table today, and they are so busy. They are volunteers par excellence, and Jamie here, Ribisi-Braley, is that correct?
Ribisi-Braley,
okay,
fine.
She's going to help me out. She's the volunteer coordinator at Spectrum Generations, and does she have information for you? But she also has some very special guests that she's come to know, Carol and Bob MacDougall, who probably are your right-hand people at this point, and their enthusiasm for volunteering, frankly, is contagious in the short time that I've talked with them. But I'm going to start with you, Jamie. Tell me a little about you and how you got into volunteer coordinating.
Sure. Well, I've been volunteering my whole life, and I've started with Girl Scouts and really getting involved in the community that way, and just caught the bug and did not want to stop. So I've just always found some opportunity, and I love it as a way to connect with my community and meet new people and just get out of the house and do something. And so I've always been doing that, and then when I started working with Spectrum Generations, it just seemed like the right thing, because I'm always trying to get my friends to volunteer. I do the same thing that Bob and Carol do, is I take my husband with me everywhere. So we're a package deal just like they are. And
so he's very supportive.
He is, yes. Yes. He's just like, what are we doing this weekend? And I always have something lined up.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Something to look forward to.
Yes.
Give me an example of one of your weekends.
Well, we volunteer a lot with the Sabbath Day Lake Shaker community, and so we like going down there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they are, you know, their own community, but they have such a great support system with the Friends of the Shakers.
So really, opportunities are limitless, and you can match what you like to do.
Yes, exactly. And so we're interested in their history and them, and so we volunteer with them, but then we volunteer with just a lot of different organizations that match our interests in art.
And that's in addition to helping recruit and train and manage, I suppose. Tell me a little bit about your job at Spectrum Generations.
Sure. Well, I'm volunteer coordinator, and each of our centers throughout Central Maine have a volunteer liaison on staff. And so I help them out with resources and just trying to help them find more volunteers and recruit volunteers. But they're arranging it for their own center and for their own specific needs in their area. So Bob and Carol work with Linda out of the Cohen Center, and she really did a good job roping them in and getting them involved.
I have met her before. She is very, very good. Her enthusiasm, like yours, is contagious.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to Bob and to Carol, and you can go first, whoever wants to. First, I want to know a little bit about Carol and Bob. Carol, you can start this conversation.
Well, we retired last year, and we're from Massachusetts, and we had a little cottage out on Togus Pond, which we love, and we had to make it winterized, so and in the end we had to actually take it down and rebuild it, and
but you're still there on the pond, Togus Pond.
Yes, and we had a fabulous contractor that we worked with from a distance, which isn't easy, but
you did it. And you're here.
And he made it all possible, so, you know.
And I know Jamie would agree that we're very glad.
Yep, and so, you know, we spent the winter, like, finishing, and the summer putting more
But you still found you had
together.
time for more activities.
We said as soon as we sort of settle, even coming from another state and retiring, and we have one daughter who, up to this point, had an apartment with us. leaving her in Massachusetts with her job. So there's huge life changes.
Right.
And you don't really know how things work. You're trying to get your bearings. And someone said, well, go down to the Cohen Center.
There you go.
And we had some questions about Social Security. Go down there. So we went down there and we met a couple of the ladies who helped us with the questions, and then they said, you know, we always need volunteers.
They were singing your song, I think.
Then they got Linda. And so we went and we spoke with Linda, and so we said, well, and we've always volunteered, depending on where we were and what we were doing, and different things.
So it was a natural fit for you.
Yeah, because we have different skill sets, and we're old. We've been,
You're a young old.
but we have a lot of life experience.
You certainly do.
And so, you know, we said, well, we'll be like your fill-in.
Okay, so that's a good way to start, right? To wade in.
Because you don't know what you're going to like.
Exactly.
So you say, well, we'll be the fill-in.
What did you do first?
The first thing we do is we volunteer in the kitchen on Friday.
Are you a chef, Bob?
Dishwasher.
I have to say that I never stepped foot in the kitchen before.
So this is a rewarding new
It
experience.
was a new experience.
Not rewarding necessarily, but you started with dishwashing.
Well, I walked in the kitchen the first day, and I went over to the chef and said, well,
what do you need?
What do you need? And he said, well, can you sweep the floors over here? So I said, yeah,
You can do that.
get the broom. Because my idea is to.
Was
whatever
Carol
you need
impressed
to do,
with your newly found kitchen skills?
I think she was impressed
I was
until
hiding.
I picked up the mop and dumped the bucket under the chef's feet. So I don't know.
So it was a learning experience.
was a learning
But they
experience.
didn't fire you
No,
for your
not
volunteer
that.
role.
But no, it went well, and we are able to do, like I told, we can do anything you want. It doesn't matter to us.
So they
because
try
we
to
enjoy
see
it.
what you like, try things out.
Try things out, yes.
Can I assume you did not want to stay in the kitchen
No.
mopping and sweeping?
Actually, I didn't. I sweep the floor.
You just stopped dumping out the
But
bucket.
I stopped dumping the bucket. That was the last time I picked that
drowning
bucket
the
up.
shower.
Learn new skills, let's put it
Exactly.
that way.
So they actually.
So what else have you been doing, Bob?
Well, we package meals. We've done that.
Meals on Wheels
do
program.
I end up a lot with my elbows up to dishwasher in the dishwasher.
Whatever's needed.
Whatever's needed. You know, a lot of pots and pans, a lot of dishes, especially when they're having lunch. You know, you have
Sure.
150 people walking through. It generates a lot
Right,
of
and
dishes
they also
really
prepare the
fast.
food for Meals on Wheels
Yes.
too, don't
Exactly.
they? So you're
Yeah.
doing both
So
of
we're
They
those
do
doing
the
that.
frozen meals.
And we also got into the delivery side of Meals on Wheels.
Right.
As we've been on 3 different runs, because if they need somebody, they'll call us up and say, hey, we need to fill in for
So
this.
it's kind of nice to have the variety of being a backup, isn't it? So you don't
Exactly.
do the same thing. It's just you say, we're here if you need us. And you have that kind of opportunity for people?
Oh, definitely, yes. And even if, you know, if you visit our website and you look at the list of possibilities of volunteer positions and something doesn't quite match up, you have a different idea of what you want to do, you just
can
call any one of
create
us
it.
and we
You
will
can
create
create it.
that. Yes, definitely.
List 3 or 4 types of things. They've mentioned delivery of Meals on Wheels. They've helped
Yep.
with the food service on the Cohen Center type things. What else could they do?
Well,
Or
also
anybody?
also with Meals on Wheels is an assessor, which goes and visits the consumers and the potential consumers for Meals on Wheels, and that's really great if you have a background in RN or any type of nursing, and it's a great way to kind of keep using your skills in your profession beyond retirement.
And it's also important, isn't it? Meals on Wheels is more than just taking people food.
It
It
is.
is a
Oh,
contact.
absolutely.
And
It
so you
is.
have to have
Yeah.
enough concern they know that you care.
Right.
That you're talking to them, even though it's a short time, because I'm sure you have lots of meals to deliver, but that's an important part of that, isn't it?
Yes, because we do safety checks at each delivery, make sure that nothing's wrong in their household that can present danger to them, and so that's part of the delivery process.
And I like the way you got started. Someone said, go there, and you had some questions. They answered the questions, but you didn't stop there.
Right.
You just rolled up your sleeves and found things to do. Bob, I'm just curious. I understand you're a package deal. You both worked before. What did you do prior to being such an asset to the, to the state of Maine?
I worked in the transportation and logistics field. I was the manager for Filing's basement.
Oh, my goodness.
So
I read something on your resume. It has nothing to do with volunteering, but I want to know about the running of the bride.
Everybody wants to
Are
know
we going to
about
do that at the
running
Cohen
of
Center?
Great.
Well, it was people, you know, everybody in the area knows about the running of the bride.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was very
I know.
famous.
It
And
just got a
we
great
ran,
title.
we ran a caravan of trailers all over the country because we
Right.
went as far south as Evanston, Florida, out to
Exactly.
Chicago.
But I'm just
and it was
thinking
quite a setup to
of
do.
all your background, you have so many skills, is what I'm trying to say,
exactly.
because managing a fleet of Meals on Wheels and all of those other things, and the sense of humor with titles like that, you bring all of those wonderful traits to your volunteering.
And it generates conversation with the folks that you're delivering to.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you mentioned earlier that the importance of that, and it really is.
The
It takes
connections.
the connection with the folks. You may be the only person they speak to all day
Right,
long.
you're pretty isolated sometimes, aren't you?
Yes, yes, I think some of the people are, and there's such a need for the program and for volunteers out there that it's
And you and Carol said you both love to talk, so I'm sure they love to talk with you when you go. Is it probably hard for the two of you to leave after you've delivered a meal because you start talking to them?
No, not necessarily, but it's been a good experience to get out in the community and see, well, who is this person that's getting a meal? And what you have is you have either elderly or you have disabled. And, you know, for example, you have like a little elderly lady with terrible arthritis, and she's all bent over. She's not cooking. She's not able to brush her hair.
right.
So when you show up and and the meal's wonderful, and you know, like they said, you have a protein, you have a nice vegetable.
Right.
They present it nicely. The frozen meals, you know, they get bread and they get milk.
A balanced, nutritious meal.
Yes, because if you're disabled and you can't cook for yourself,
Yes,
You're
and
not-
nutrition is so important, like you've
and
talked
if
about.
you're not nourished,
You deteriorate even
exactly.
more.
So, you know, when you bring that person that meal and it's warm, we bring one
Yes.
warm one each time and
Yes.
2 cold ones on Wednesday and a cold one on Friday. And you say, oh, look at this, roast pork with the little
Yeah.
stuffing, mashed potatoes, and it smells. You know, you can give them the...
See, you're giving more than the meal. You're also
Because
presenting
you
the
wa-
excitement about it.
Right,
This
because
is a good thing.
you want to encourage that older person to eat that meal while it's warm, when they're going to enjoy it the best, earlier in the day when they're more able to eat it. The other thing is you're their link, you know, if they
Yes.
have a concern.
So you could report back to anybody
Yes.
if you saw needs that weren't being met.
And the other thing is they have little pets, and you know it's their thing that they're giving care to, and it's like so important. So you know the need for people to volunteer, and the need for people to donate, adopt a senior pet. You know, if you say baby boomers are retiring, right, in droves.
Well, they've got
Right.
plenty to do ahead of
We
time.
are an army.
And I'm going to stop you for just a moment. We'll be right back after this break because there's so much more to say about the importance and the need for good volunteers.
Yes, he's still on his feet. He's in. Throws it up. Yes! And the buzzer. Saved by Leonard. Rebound back and forth.
The Maine Sprinkler Association 2012 champion.
It's the sports category on TWC TV On Demand. Topics that complement your lifestyle. The sports category on TWC TV On Demand. Check it out on Channel 950 or Channel 1.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy. Live well. Get answers. Get connected. Spectrum Generations. Specializing in the art of aging.
Life should be celebrated. It's a special day when family and friends gather together to celebrate the life of a loved one. A celebration of life helps us honor our loved one and keep our memories alive. Whether you're planning a traditional funeral, a creative celebration of life, or a blend of both, at Knowlton Hewins Roberts, we are truly committed to meet the personal and unique needs of you and your family. Knowlton Hewins Roberts. Visit us online or visit our 2 locations in Augusta and Winthrop.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We are having a fabulous conversation with some volunteers and a volunteer coordinator, and I think there are opportunities for you. Stay tuned, and I think you're going to be volunteering very soon, and there are opportunities all over the state. Jamie,
Yes.
You are a volunteer coordinator at the Cohen Center and other places as well?
Yeah, I'm actually a volunteer coordinator at our home office.
And where is
tell me
where the opportunities are.
Sure. Well, there's a Cohen in Hollowell, Muskies in Waterville. We have centers in Rockland, Belfast, Topsom, and I know I'm forgetting another, Demascata.
Well, all right, but
we are
all
over
the
place.
state. There are places to work with Spectrum Generations and to help our seniors in all kinds of ways. And they can go to the webpage and find out where those places are. But is there a big need for volunteers right now?
There's a huge need for volunteers right
Yeah.
now. And we always say that volunteers are the backbone of our program, and without them,
You couldn't do it, could you?
No, we could not. And it's so great to have them as a voice in our community, and just all of the help that they give and resources that they provide.
So at this moment, anybody could walk into one of these centers and say, here I am, these are my
Yes.
skills, can you use me?
Yes, and we will say yes.
Yes. And as you can see, Bob and Carol did just that, and they were even willing to wash dishes. You took up, and you've learned new skills, I think, through this volunteering. But what you bring to the table, in addition to your willingness, is this joy in living, and it's contagious. And I think you probably have fun with other volunteers. You get to meet other volunteers.
Yes, and that's actually really good too, because
you've made friends, new friends.
And we don't really know a lot of people up here, so that's excellent. And what I've found with the other volunteers, a lot of them started quite a while ago, and they started delivering meals. And now they've gotten a little older, and they can't do that anymore. They're doing something else.
There's something to meet you wherever you are.
Wherever you are, whatever your skill,
and
whatever your
how about
interest.
time? Suppose you can only do the meals or the kitchen work once a month. Is that okay?
Yeah. I think
you'll take anybody
Yes.
for any amount of time.
Yes, definitely.
So everybody doesn't have the complete time, but you don't have to be retired. Anybody can help you on the time, on their schedule.
Yeah, and we even have lots of special events going on in the different centers. And if you only want to volunteer once in a while, you can help out an event. You can help, maybe if you have fundraising skills, you can help fundraise for a certain event. If you just like smiling and meeting people, you can help at registration for an event.
That's great.
Yes.
Carol had a wonderful philosophy she talked about when she first sat down with me here, and I want her to share that with you. It is her philosophy of life, and it spilled over to her volunteering. Do you remember what you said?
Yes, well, yes, because
you say it a lot.
I say it a lot.
Well,
That's
say it
right,
again.
Because some days I go, well, today we're kedging, but it's sort of the philosophy that if you want to have a wonderful life, whatever it is, you need to show up for it every day. All the way, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And that sometimes your life is blue skies and clear waters and you're sailing along, and then sometimes you're kedging, which means you're rowing really, really hard.
Okay.
And you have to be willing to do what it takes and to just fully do it and not be afraid.
And that's been your approach.
That really is who
That's why you have
I
a
am.
twinkle in your eye.
And not take anything too serious. You can't take yourself.
But she takes Bob serious.
No, I don't. I still, 33 years now we've been married, and I still don't understand him, and so.
But I've worked at that.
You've
It's
worked
good.
at it,
Right. It keeps things interesting.
But it's
mystery
absolutely
alive,
wonderful. But you do things that you enjoy together, and this volunteering has been another opportunity for your life together to just grow and expand.
That's right. We
hasn't
do
it?
everything together. We work together as a team with this volunteering, with everything we do. We try to do it together. We have our own spaces, of course.
Yeah,
But you know
we
what?
have our own
But it's a
interest.
great opportunity for couples, is what you're
That's
trying
right.
to say,
It
who
really
enjoy
and
doing
truly-
things
really and
together.
truly
Exactly.
is.
Or even if you're just a single person.
Absolutely.
Or even if you just want to come out because you need community, come and eat a
Because
meal.
the volunteers themselves need that community.
Right.
We talked about seniors who can sometimes be isolated and how important it is when you show up with the meals. Sometimes you're out there and you don't know people in the community. It's a
Exactly.
great entryway, isn't it, to new friends and this sort
Yes,
of thing.
and I find that, you know, well, because we work in the kitchen and the dining room on Friday, and there's a wonderful group of people. They come and they're happy
Have a
to
good time
eat,
together.
and oh, I haven't seen you, and
Yeah.
it's like a whole social thing that you need.
And
Your
as
soul
an
needs
aside, you're
that.
probably well fed.
Yes, because they
very
put
good.
out they put out a fabulous meal. No one goes away hungry.
No one goes away hungry. You also mentioned that when you're visiting the elderly, sometimes you notice that the only companion they really have is a pet.
Yeah.
And that one of your concerns was if you don't take care of the pet, because that's so important, they might give that meal that you're taking to them,
Right, to the
to
pet.
the animal, because that's so important. We do love our animals. Talk to us about what you do to help seniors who are isolated like that, or who need your help to keep their pets.
Well, you know, this is going into someone's home to bring the meals, like that's new for us. So you want to be very respectful.
Of course.
And so at first you have to kind of find out, well, exactly what limit is this senior going to set. But most of them, they like you to come in. So I always, you know, like, how are you today? And I let them tell me, you know, like, do you have any concerns, you know? And can I put the cold meal in your refrigerator, which gives you an opportunity to see. I have a bugaboo about
See
refrigerators.
what's in there.
Yes, because we did find, we had one lady who, I looked in there and I said, wait a minute, she had a lot of milk and stuff that
had gone by.
was
hadn't it?
full.
Yeah.
Well, the refrigerator is full. And I said, well, you know, is there someone who can come in and go through your refrigerator, because you don't want them eating anything bad. And what happens is they reach in and they get what's in front.
Uh-huh.
And they're old.
And they don't take it off.
Right. So it gives you the opportunity to check safety issues. Do they have any concerns? You know, if the person who we took over for also brought something from the food pantry, and now that person's worried, am I going to have my other staples? Who will bring it? They don't know. You may be the only person they see.
Right.
You
And the
know,
pets, is there?
They love their pets. Their pets stay right with them all day. You
And
know.
what about food for the pets, so they don't give their own meals?
And they always need food donations for the pets.
So that's another opportunity. Volunteers can, you can volunteer time, but you can also volunteer food for pets, which is important to seniors,
definitely.
Right. Anything.
So there is such a program.
There
though.
is an
There's-
Animals
bring food.
program.
How does that work, Bob?
Well, for us, there's a food packet that we get on every Friday that we bring out to the folks that have pets that need the food. So for the volunteer in our position, it's really just bringing them the food
Right,
on the day. Make sure they get there. We can look around and you can see if we often see if the animals look healthy.
Right.
Or not. And we talk to the folks about the health of their pets, and
I bet
we
they
have
love
our
to
own.
talk to you about
well,
that
they do.
pet,
They like
yeah.
to talk about the pets, that they're getting well fed, that they have water, the best ways to give them water sometimes, you know, that you'd be surprised that, oh, it's not drink. Well, maybe if you mix a little water with the food, there'll be moisture, the cat will get a drink, or the dog.
Right.
So you see the health of the animal at the same time, and you talk to the people, and that happens every Friday with the folks that we deliver to on the different runs that we go out on.
And that opens the door for a real conversation,
does.
because you're interested in them and in their pets.
That's right.
So,
That's exactly
which is
right.
extraordinary. Well, I can't believe how lucky they are to have the two of you. Do you both go in?
Yeah.
Both of us will go together.
Double dynamics.
That's us, the team.
And I'm going to ask you to stay tuned, because we still have one more short time to speak with you about golden opportunities for you to volunteer.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers. Get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Excuse me, begging your indulgence, sir. I'm a wealthy foreign dignitary, and I would like your help moving a vast sum of money into this country. I would let you keep most of it, but I would like to have some of it back, too. Please take this certified cashier's check as a portion of the transaction. Get lost.
Scams like these don't work as well in person. That's why most of them are done online.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. It is so exciting to be talking to these great people who give so much to the community, and I think to themselves. It looks like those. Look at the eyes of all these wonderful people. I'm going to go back to Jamie, because Jamie broadened our horizon even more. This has been inviting. There are opportunities for us, but tell us more. If you want to volunteer, Spectrum Generations, but other things, what can one do to learn more?
Well, you can go to volunteermaine.org, and you can put in your zip code or your area that you want to be volunteering in and find all different opportunities. We list a lot of our opportunities on there.
So they'd find you, but other nonprofits as well?
Yes, definitely. And that there's other ways to do it. If you do it as a couple, which is always a nice way to do it, or even on your own, but you might put it together, a group of girlfriends that once a month want to volunteer together.
Now watch Carol, see, she's getting very excited. All right.
And even just, you know, maybe you have like your siblings and you don't get to see each other too much in a nice way. It's a great way to,
yes,
definitely. It's a great way to stay together.
What about with your kids? Maybe you want to take some youngsters to help be part of the community.
And
they can do that too?
Yes, definitely. And it's a great way to sort of mentor them into the volunteering for life in a way. And it can be a grandparent bringing their grandchild. It can be a father-son deal together, and there's...
So it's endless, I would say.
Yes, definitely.
And go ahead, tell us some more things that they can do. We've talked a lot and I've learned a lot. It's so important. The Meals on Wheels, the pets, the reaching out to the seniors, etc. Yes. But anything else you want to share?
Sure. We also have, if you're, you know, volunteering is a great way to stay active, but if maybe you need a more sedentary position, we do have ADRC, which is our Aging Disability Resource Center, and you can just be on the phone and help people on the phones.
Very important,
yes,
isn't it?
Definitely, and just provide resources and
Things
information
are complicated
to them.
out there sometimes when you want help and you don't know where to go. So answering the phone even and being knowledgeable is an opportunity.
Definitely.
What else can one do?
Well, what can't they do? Really,
what can't they do is the right question.
Exactly. If you have, especially if you're retired and you have so much life experience and professional experience, there's always an opportunity, and we can set one up for you too, to find the right thing for you to do. We can create a position around your interest. But then we also, you know, always need help in our centers. You know, just greeting, just being a friendly, smiling face.
And you heard it here. We've heard it from our wonderful guests, Carol and Bob, and from Jamie. Volunteering is the way to go. So thank you for joining us on Mature Lifestyles. Please sign up to volunteer. You will not be sorry.
Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
You're watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.